Hey y'all, what's up? It's TND and welcome to yet another episode of TND Won't Shut Up,
where we discuss and debate relationship topics from a healthy couple's perspective.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel for weekly discussions and share with a friend or two.
Or three.
Or four.
So how you doing, baby?
I am doing great, baby. It's been such a great week. I've been out every single day almost.
Yes, she has.
So yeah, it's been a good week, baby. How are you, honey?
I'm good. It was raining all week, so I actually was in the house for the majority of the week. But we did get out last night. We got an event today, and we got brunch tomorrow.
So yeah, it's gonna be nice. But y'all, first thing first. Look at all these subscribers we got, y'all. Look at all these subscribers. So welcome, y'all. Welcome all the new folks. And thank you so very much. Our goal was 100 subscribers by the end of April. We are 9 subscribers short. So if you're watching right now and you have not hit that subscribe button, please help us out, meet our goal. We're thinking about doing a little giveaway as well. So we'll announce that next episode. But y'all, this reunion was reunion-ing. I would say, like, Ready to Love history, this has been the most eventful, dramatic, drama-filled reunion. Our jaws was to the floor the entire time. It was so good.
It was definitely eventful, for sure. Yeah. All right, so let's get right to it.
Let's get to it, baby. All right, you guys. So the episode starts off with Tommy just giving a breakdown, little highlights of what went on throughout the season, and he basically talks about not one mixer but two, and he asks the singles how do they feel about having 2 separate mixers. And I think they had some valid points, right, baby?
Yeah.
Because what's his name, Dominique, basically said that he didn't like that one lady was sent home before he had even an opportunity to meet her, and that makes sense. Like, one person was sent home before anybody else got to meet her, so anybody from the second mixer got to meet her, and vice versa for the ladies. So I think that was a fair
criticism.
Fair criticism. And then Lamar was basically saying that he was cool with it. All right, so Tommy comes out with a vengeance. He decided to talk about Patrice and Alonzo's connection. He goes down memory lane and showed their journey. At the end, they chose each other, and then bam, he went hard. So what happened, baby? What happened? Go.
Man, so all right, so yeah, they did, recite the whole journey all the way to the bridge, right? And everything was looking good. And Tommy asked Patrice, what's the current status of the relationship? And apparently, Alonzo, right out the gate said that he was going to be exclusive. I guess he gave her the key to the crib. So, I guess she thought it was going to be, roses after that. But in only 3 days, Patrice says she caught him with another woman. Man. So immediately, Lonzo started with the excuses. Yeah. Jeep's broken down. Woman comes over at 10 p.m. to go food shopping. Who goes food shopping at 10 p.m.?
And why didn't you call your lady? Why didn't you call Patrice to go food shop with him?
Come on.
But Patrice was being sneaky too, because she came with a whole nother car, so that means that she knew something was going on. Patrice got time, because I don't need to catch you. As soon as my gut feeling tell me something, I'm good. Patrice got in another car, showed up at his house at 10 p.m. and caught him with another woman. Like, Patrice is for the shits.
Yeah, but that says a lot, because that means in only 3 days, and obviously prior to that, she already suspected certain things. Maybe she was asking certain questions that we didn't get to see, that led her to believe that he was a slimy type dude, which he's proven to be. But yeah, so he's on and on with the excuses. We all know that there's no reason to have a woman that you've dealt with in the past in your crib. Wait, baby, at that time.
You forgot he said he did not mess around with her though.
Right. We know he lying. Once you start down this path, I no longer can actually believe anything that you're saying.
Yeah, so Alonzo originally said this was just a friend. He never messed around with her. We just friends. She was just coming out to help me. And Patrice sat down quiet, ain't had nothing to say. She just let him run his bump his gums. She just let him run his mouth, y'all. And then once he finished talking, Patrice said, "I'm not done. Let me finish talking." What he does not know, if y'all seen Alonzo's face when she said this, she was able to meet up with the lady afterwards and had a whole conversation with her and found out that her and Alonzo are basically been having sex. They had sex throughout the process. They had sex in May, and all of a sudden Alonzo was saying, oh yeah, we had sex, but only one time. It happened so long ago. Just one time. I'm like, but then you just said that y'all did not sleep together?
This is what I was talking about. You know, when you're dealing with a person like this, you cannot believe anything that they're saying.
Yeah, he's a bold-faced liar, just like you said.
Yeah, and then of course he's making the excuse that, oh, well, I gave her the key. Why would I give her the key if this is what I'm about? That's precisely why people do stuff like that. Right, exactly. Because they don't expect Patrice to roll up in a different vehicle at 10 p.m. to check on you. You know? So, wow. And apparently, you know, it wasn't just one woman. It was 3 women. Okay? And if anybody knows men like this, it's never just one, right? This is what they do.
Stay clear. And STD testing. So that means he having sex with all of them raw. Man, this is a reckless man, y'all.
This is bad.
Ladies, stay clear of the Alonzos of the world. Yeah. That is crazy because honestly, on the show, I did not see Alonzo being extremely reckless. Overall, goofy, you know, jokey joke. But I didn't see him as a liar, right?
I didn't see it either.
Nothing that they showed us presented Alonzo as somebody who played games, someone who's lying. He seemed like he was really genuinely serious about Patrice. And for him to blindside her like that was wrong. But I don't think she was truly blindsided because this is only 3 days after they stopped filming that she found some of this stuff out. And then it was 2 other ladies. This was crazy. And Alonzo had a lot of nerves to try to make excuses and dug himself up into a deeper hole when it would have been so much better for him just to hold himself accountable, say, I was wrong. I don't care if he would say it was a girl that I was messing around with before the show and I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. I'm sorry. He should have done that, but instead he dug himself up.
And what makes this worse for Patrice is the fact that I'm almost guaranteed that they had sex because who gives somebody a key without having sex with that person first?
I'm sure they had sex during the process because remember this happened 3 days after they stopped filming, right? Right. So that means that they must have been having we're assuming.
Well, bottom line is, it stings a lot worse knowing that you are one of 3 and this dude could have potentially been going raw with these other 2 girls.
Let me sip my tea, baby. Ain't none of our business.
And you know what? This behavior was actually previewed when he had a little disagreement with Koshia
about shoulder spank. We're gonna get into that, but
yes,
it's the same action.
Yeah, it's like
justifying.
You're being told like clearly that what you said to Koshia was inappropriate and sexual in nature. And yet you're coming up with all these excuses. You just won't hold yourself accountable. And here we see that same behavior again. But anyway, Patrice ended up saying that she deserves better, and she absolutely does. And that a man like him wouldn't have a chance in hell.
Yes.
And I'm happy to hear that because it would have been disturbing to think that, you know, somehow she could have gave him another chance after this.
Yes, I agree. Anyways.
All right. Moving on.
Came in hot, baby.
All right, so next up we got Will on the hot seat. Man. Right out the gate, Will came off as a real cocky, overconfident, arrogant type dude. So he was definitely bound to have some problems, and it all did play out that way, you know. But you know, he basically started off by talking about the fact that, you know, he's a real estate developer, and Tommy had asked him, you know, why he kept pushing the issue over the staging comment that Patrice had made. And, you know, he stated that he felt, you know, kind of disrespected, right? That, you know, financially he believes himself to be in a great place. Obviously, he was bragging on himself pretty much half the whole interview. But, you know, he just wanted to defend himself and let people know that financially he's in a good place and know he's not living in a place that's empty and sleeping on the floor. Right.
And I think for him, somebody who's lead with their money and what they have, obviously, he is triggered by even appearing broke. This tells me that maybe he was, you know, grew up poor and he came out and started doing better for himself. And, you know, because Patrice said that, it triggered him, but he didn't need to be triggered. All he had to do was explain to Patrice what staging meant. You know, which I did see in the clip that he did try to explain that. And then after that, you leave it alone. Right. You wanna know why? Because majority of the world, I'm not gonna say majority, but a lot of people know what staging mean. And if you know what staging mean, then we know Will was not sleeping on the floor, right? So honestly, he didn't need to give all that energy. He gave too much energy to something that's not even valid. It shows Patrice actually looks stupid. I don't want to say stupid, but ignorant. That's better. Patrice looking ignorant because she doesn't know what staging mean. She assumed that the house is staged. She said staging is an empty house. For me, I would never think a stage being an empty house. Right, babe?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
I just think that he's insecure, basically.
Yeah. And so, you know, also they showed a clip of the ladies in the ladies lounge talking about why they didn't like Will, and a lot of the women said that he was sexual, that he was that he was inappropriate. And so Mika ends up, you know, basically saying that, you know, she ain't like him because he was thirsty, you know, coming off thirsty. And then the whole conversation digressed from that point.
Yeah, because Mika came off a little catty.
She did.
Had too much smoke. I'm like, what is wrong with you, Mika?
With a person like Will, his actions speak for themselves. Like, she don't have to reiterate certain points in the way that she was doing. I think everybody knows what type of dude Will is. And he even showed it here in this interview. Clearly, he was insecure. He couldn't accept that the women weren't checking for him, and that's why he got, you know, rejected. He can't accept the fact that people might think that he doesn't have all this money, right?
Yeah, especially just the way he bragged, baby. Usually people who brag like Will ain't got it.
Exactly.
They don't got it. You talking about your money, you're leading with your money. Everything is I got money. God is blessing me financially. I'm doing good. These businesses. People who talk like that don't got it. Most people who has money, they're millionaires. They don't go around screaming, I'm a millionaire. So, you know, Mika didn't have to say anything. He's actually showing his ass. Right?
Yeah. So anyways, you know, Mika tells him that, you know, he was thirsty and he's a scammer. And then, of course, Will comes back saying that she has a BBL. Ooh. So it got bad.
It really did get bad. It got bad. It got actually embarrassing for me.
It did. And that's why, you know, I don't care who is in the right. When two people start to get to a point when they're disrespecting one another, when they're trying to hit you below the belt, you both look stupid. Mm-hmm. All right, and I hope she understands that.
And then he also put her out saying that she got her tubes tied, called her a baby mama with her tubes tied. That's not a good look.
Yeah, it got real personal.
It really did get personal. It was actually very sad. It was embarrassing. It was cringy. Yeah. I couldn't even laugh. I was just like, my jaw was to the floor, like.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so from there, you know, Alexis, of course, interjects herself into the conversation, and you could already tell Alexis she's starting up, right?
Yeah, she's not identified.
We saw what she's capable of during the season, and look, I mean, we're within 10 minutes of this episode, and you could already see how she's starting it. You know,
she wrecked it.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so she I guess Koshia brought up the fact that Alexis was, you know, spilling information that was coming from the ladies' lounge, specifically in this case to Will, about this whole sleeping on the floor situation. And then they start going back and forth, and then before you know it, Alexis is going at it with Koshia and Mika, talking about they have half a brain.
Between the two of them, they have half a brain. I was like,
yeah. One thing I will say, Alexis, I mean, you don't want to get into it with a woman like that, because she does not know how to stop or control herself. No, but so it's a losing battle. So bottom line in that issue, in that disagreement or whatever you want to call that, we know Alexis was wrong. She did take information from the lounge, divulged that to Will. Maybe she didn't give specific names, but then, of course, Will, with his insecurity, was going to start trying to figure it out himself. So she started that up.
Right.
It's the bottom line. And then, of course, in the end, you know, Tommy points out the obvious. Is, you know, here we are sitting on a stage having what was supposed to be a decent conversation. And it digresses to this hot mess that it's starting to look like, and that everybody needs to be better than that. And he's right. He's right about that. Oh, one last thing. So Patrice doubled down on the fact that Will should have explained staging in more detail. And it's like, no.
Rather than saying she was wrong.
Just say that you had no clue what staging really meant. You probably should have did a little bit of research yourself, and you didn't, and that's okay.
Yeah, just admit that you're wrong.
Yeah, but
hold yourself accountable.
Exactly. All right, moving on.
All right, so in the next scene, Tommy introduces runaway Glenn and basically says, what happened and why did he leave? And he asked Glenn, do you regret leaving? Do you wish that you would have stayed in the process? Glenn said no, he does not feel that he wanted to stay in the process. He said what's meant to happen, everything happens for a reason. He also talks about what happened that day, and he says that he basically was dropping his son off to school. When he got back, he was at home getting dressed, and he got in a wreck. Is he saying he got in a wreck on the way to...
Yeah, the reason I'm confused about that is if you remember the scene that they showed when he was arriving at the house, his car looked fine. I don't know if that was a new car, a different car. I don't know. And it was summer, and he said he was dropping his kid off at school. I don't know.
It was summer? Glenn, I don't know, but I thought that was an excuse. But he could have been telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
And then, and then Tommy basically asked him about the anxiety. They're trying to say that he's extremely anxious, which I do believe that he is extremely anxious, but I also feel like they were honing in on that, and I don't feel like he was really anxious. He said the main reason why he didn't go is because he got in an accident.
So he comes off to me as a man that has issues.
Yes.
And I think anxiety is one of them.
Yes, I agree.
The fact that he was struggling in the confessional during the season, just to even convince himself to go to the house, that's usually anxious behavior.
Yeah. And but I don't think he was admitting that he was anxious.
No, and a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Right?
When Tommy said something about how did you feel? Were you anxious? And he said, weren't we all anxious? Like everybody else is anxious too. So he didn't want to just say it's only him. But I think he has severe anxiety. What I'm seeing, I don't know the man. None of us know him. But what I'm seeing in these few clips, it seems like this man have severe anxiety.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Very high anxiety.
And he also seems to struggle with kind of maybe accepting that fact, because people who usually want other people to be experiencing the same thing that they are, it's like, no, there's some people that's on here that's not anxious.
Yeah, he's trying to normalize his behavior.
Right.
And I do believe everybody had a level of anxiety. I just feel like his was extreme.
Exactly. And he also lacks a lot of confidence.
Right, we can see that.
And that shows.
Mm-hmm. And then Tommy gave him a chance to go mingling. To me, I just felt like they gave Glenn too much of a shine. Do you agree, baby?
I agree.
Too much. You were not there. I mean, they could have introduced him and let him off. I'll be honest. He was an attractive man. I will say that. So maybe for eye candy purposes, because he was an attractive man. But he just seemed very insecure, and I would not fall for this man at all.
Yep.
Because usually it comes with a lot of other issues. Anything else you want to add, Boo?
No. Yeah. I guess I do want to point out that the whole fairy tale and believing in love and hopeless romance, I'm not a fan. Yeah. All right? I think people need to be more thoughtful. They actually have to take the time to truly understand who they're with. And it's hopeless romance, it's fairy tales that got a lot of people in screwed up situations.
Exactly.
So, all right, so next up we got Le-Lin. Of course, Le-Lin had a brief stay. She unfortunately had to leave the process due to some personal issues. Not feeling her dress at all. I don't like to be critical.
He doesn't like to be critical. I'll say it.
That dress is hideous.
Yeah, I didn't like the dress at all. I like the color on her skin. I also didn't care for her hair in a ponytail like that. I feel like it aged her a little bit, but overall, she's still a beautiful woman. I will say that. But I think she could have done a better choice with the dress. Maybe it's that shoulder area. It looks so...
Well, it's all like extra stuff coming out of the chest area. I can't... Can she even move her arms? But anyway,
she's a gorgeous lady. She is so classy.
She is gorgeous. She's classy. And in the short time that she was around, obviously there were a couple men checking for her.
Yeah.
Chaz jumped in and did what Chaz does, saying the right things. Mm-hmm. Oh, she was a real woman. She was his top at the time. Mm-hmm. And that if she stayed around, that he would have went after her. Who didn't he pursue?
Exactly. Right? He pursued everyone, and nobody wanted you. You ended the process with no one.
Exactly. So then Tommy asked her, is there anyone that she would have, connected with if she was going to stay in the process? And she, I think, kind of was a little hesitant at first.
I think her answer is no, but of course you want to answer that politically correct because you don't want to offend anyone.
Exactly.
And then you just don't want to look bad and say absolutely not. But I think that she really meant. I think honestly, I really feel like she left the process because she wasn't really feeling anything.
That's what I believe.
I think that she saw Chaz's true colors early on, which most smart women would. And other than that, nobody else was a good match for her except Chaz, only age-wise. Everybody else was much younger than her. And I just feel like she was in just a different class level than everybody else. Do you agree, baby? It's just her match wasn't there.
I agree.
If it was going to be there, it would only been Chaz. That's the only person she would have been suited for.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
And of course, you know, well, we don't know her emotional intelligence and maturity, but she may have made some observations of Chaz similar to that of Vanessa, and might have also cut him out as well, and then left the process.
And not only that, like if Chaz and her was really connecting, they'd have still been on the phone talking throughout the whole process.
Exactly.
This show would not have stopped that connection if it was that strong. So all y'all talking BS. Well, Chaz is talking BS because he's the one acting like this would have went somewhere. Right?
Yeah. Yep. And then Patrice couldn't help herself. She had to get a little petty.
She was so petty.
And throw a shot at Lonzo, saying, "Oh, you know, wasn't Le-Lin one of your connections, Lonzo? You could have been pursuing him. You could have ended up being with him. You know, this is what you do." I mean, clearly she's feeling salty about the situation, and of course, in my opinion, you know, when you're dealing with a person like Lonzo, don't even give that dude any attention. Right. He doesn't even deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And then lastly, Tommy just asked if Le-Lin's out there dating, if there's anybody special, and you know, apparently she is out there dating, and she believes that there's a special person waiting for her, and that it should be here in the short term. Is kind of how she's.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fairy tale talk. I think a lot of times when you get that up in age like that, and you're still not partnered, or you haven't had, and I don't know Le-Lin's side. I can't say she hasn't been partnered in any serious relationships, but I do feel like at that point it's time for you to do some introspective work because you're beautiful. You are beautiful. Your hair, if it's not natural, it looks natural. And the fact that I know she gets men, but none of them are staying around, which I'm assuming because she's on this show, something has to be wrong. So it's time for you to do some introspective work. You agree, baby?
I agree.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I wish her well, though. I think she's so beautiful on the outside. I do feel like she has potential of finding an amazing guy. I just feel like there's something has to be off. I don't know what's off, but something has to be off. She's 42 and look as beautiful as she does. It just makes me wonder, right, Ben?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But. All right, so in the next scene, we have Koshia and Lonzo, and they show highlights of the whole choked and spanked comment. You know, obviously Koshia felt some kind of way about it, thought it was inappropriate, just as any of us would. And of course, Lonzo, rather than just, you know, accepting what she's saying as valid, he takes no accountability and then immediately starts making, you know, excuses, stupid excuses, such as if you've ever kissed somebody, then you've choked them. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So he just continues to dig himself in a deeper hole. And this is, of course, is consistent with what he just did when he got called out for dealing with 3 women.
Yeah. Instead of just admitting he's wrong, he digs himself into these deeper holes and make himself look very, very stupid. Be weary of these type of men because he's never going to take accountability. He's never going to admit he's wrong. He's the type of person who apologized by having sex, right?
Right.
But make up sex. Exactly. Type of apology. He's never going to have an actual apology. He just rather dig himself in a hole. He's going to create toxic relationship. He's not a good man.
Exactly. And of course, you know, as Koshia stated, you know, the comment itself, there is an appropriate time and place for it if you're in a certain space with your partner.
Exactly.
And she did point out that she actually said that to Le-Lin and Chaz.
Yeah, they would know.
But she wasn't in that space with Lonzo, and therefore it wasn't appropriate. And I completely agree. And Patrice, initially, I thought she was kind of disagreeing because she said something about, you know, we're all adults. But I think she also acknowledged that it was sexual in nature. And the reason she wouldn't be offended by the same comment is because she was in the right space with Lonzo.
Yes.
So anyway, Lonzo just at least is being consistent with looking stupid and digging himself a bigger hole. All right, on to the next.
All right, y'all. So here's the madness. The madness is about to begin. So Tommy's highlights all the games that they played throughout the season. It looked like they were having fun. So the Truth and Sexy game, the Guess Who Said This, and so on and so forth. And then he decides to play a little game at the reunion called Who Said This. So basically quotes that happened throughout the show. And they need to guess who said it. So the first one was basically a quote by Chaz. He said something about Rashina that she was.
He wanted to see the hotter side.
Yeah,
of
he wanted
Rashina.
to see the hotter side of Rashina, which to me is weird because Chaz already said he doesn't like women who wear lashes and a lot of makeup, and he likes Rashina who wears a lot of lashes and makeup. So, a little weird, but I'm sure he'll smash. And then the next one was, what was the next one?
It was choked and spanked. Somebody said I could be spanked all day.
Yeah, and that was
Rashina.
Rashina, yeah. And then the one that was this really made me tear up because I feel like it was not called for. They should never put it up. It's basically saying William is tall, kind of silly looking, a bit immature. She's getting Jeffrey the giraffe from Toys R Us
mixed with Forrest Gump.
That was so wrong. I did not like that. If you see the looks on everyone's face, that was just uncalled for. And they put that on live TV. I thought that was wrong.
It really was. And now, but truth be told, we said this earlier on in the season, you know, thick thighs, kind of a goofy look, little, you know. So I'm not saying that I would ever categorize him like that. But I get the comments.
Me too. But I felt like April should apologize on stage. I knew she tried to soften the blow and she was like, you know, I don't feel like that about him now. But that was her perfect opportunity to say, you know, that was wrong of me and I'm sorry for saying that.
Yeah.
She should have said that.
She should have owned it.
And of course, Tommy asked William how he felt about it and William was like, hey, it's all good. It's all good. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Trust me, he has feelings. And it seems like he's adopted and it seems like he's been through a lot of being teased and I don't know. I just felt bad for him. So I really teared up. I really teared up watching that because I felt so bad for him. Anything else you need to add before we go through the craziness?
Nope.
Let's get it.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Last scene. Craziness. Wow. All right. So the question comes up. Who said the quote when Le-Lin brings up snakes and things like that? People making shady moves. It's ironic. And so Le-Lin ended up guessing initially Alexis. And Alexis kind of felt, she felt some kind of way, but then he tried to quickly redirect, and I guess he mentioned Dominique.
He said Dominique said it.
But you know what? It was too late. Because once Alexis gets going, so she ended up saying that Le-Lin was the biggest snake on the entire cast, and forget it. After that, it just got crazy. It turned into a back and forth between Le-Lin and Alexis. Alexis called him a dork. Le-Lin ended up saying that Alexis got cubic zirconias on. Then Le-Lin comes back and said that she was chumming up to him, whispering in his ear, and she was like, no, none of that happened. It was just a hot mess.
It was a lot, and she started acting like a victim because she's the one who really started the whole thing. Because she went off talking about everybody knows he's a snake, and then she's like, "What did I do? What did I do?" Like, girl, you don't realize what you just said to him and called him a dork.
Exactly. And then of course Will jumps in because Will and Alexis were kind of a team.
Yeah, and they both don't like Le-Lin.
Yeah, and Will calls Le-Lin a clown. And then, Lonzo tries to take Alexis out. She's not trying to go anywhere. Then Alexis starts beefing with Justin.
At that point, it was Alexis versus everybody. If y'all pay attention to this scene in slow motion, she cussed out Justin. And she called, she slapped the security. She actually pointed at Maya and called Maya.
It was crazy. Yeah.
It was wild. So much was going on, and it was Alexis versus everybody.
Yeah. And so, but the fact is, Alexis is crazy. She has real issues.
She needs emotional regulation.
Absolutely. I mean, to be on national TV, completely embarrass yourself. You got friends watching, family, colleagues. Yeah. And she is acting a zip fool. You know?
And I'm not saying what she said was true or false. It's just the way she went at it. Like, it was bad. She really embarrassed herself. She looked so bad. She looked uncontrolled, unhinged. She could not be stopped. At that one point, she was cussing everybody out, and her and Will supposed to be close, and Will couldn't even calm her down. Then she walks to the back, and she talking about she spent a rack on this outfit, like she spent so much to be here. Will trying to calm her, telling her, let's go do your confessional. She's like, I'm not doing no mother effing confessionals. She said, I'll give you your confessional. And she was like,
I just wrote it was all over the place. And slapped this camera down.
Slapped the camera down at the end. She said,
you get the worst of me. You get the worst of me.
And it's crazy because even before she headed to the back, William slides off like, "Oh, I was the one that made the comment."
Yeah.
Like, it got so crazy, he never even got to say that he was the one who did it.
He assumed it was Alexis. It was not even Alexis. It was not even Dom. But it got so escalated that they couldn't even show who said it, and it was William that said it. So I cannot wait to see part 2 because part 1 was entertaining.
It was,
right, baby?
It was definitely
we
entertaining.
really enjoyed watching it. It was so much going on. But yeah. Alright, so y'all, thank you so much for watching. Y'all, we appreciate y'all. Thank you so very much for subscribing. We're almost at our goal. I think we're at 91 subscribers right now. And our goal is 100 by April. So I think we're going to exceed that. Right, baby?
I think so.
So we're going to do a little giveaway for y'all. In the next video, we'll announce how we're going to do it. We're new to all this stuff, so we don't know how we're going to do it. But we'll do some kind of drawing so you can enter, and we'll send some kind of gift card or something. So I think that'll be fun. But nonetheless, baby, what else you got to add?
The only other thing I want to add is if anybody saw Lamar's leg crossover while he was sitting on that couch, please throw it in the comments, because I wanted to talk about it earlier, but I got distracted
with all this mess. But no, y'all gotta see how Lamar was sitting on that couch. He looked so little, his legs looked so tiny. He was really awkward. You know what, I'm gonna try to screenshot it and make it the thumbnail of this video, because
I was dying.
Super funny. So go back and look at it, y'all. I wish I could tell you a clip.
Just look at it. You'll see it.
It's pay attention to Lamar while he's sitting on the couch. He looks so funny. It's weird. Anyways, y'all, thank you so very much for tuning in. Help us meet our goal by subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. We got a lot of love on our last video. A lot of engagement. So we appreciate y'all. And that was the most subscribed video, right?
Yes.
Last video. So thank you so much. And let's clap it up for ourselves. Thank you so much, y'all. We're going to continue to make more content. We're still trying to think of, we're not TV watchers, but we're going to think of a next show to watch and we can review for y'all. Maybe that new show that's coming out, but we'll talk about that. Anyways, y'all, get ready for part 2. And on that note, TND is
out.
All right.